Justiniano Asuncion's Tipos del País, or People of the Country, 16 watercolors, made around 1843. So again, hello, I'm Mark Wilson. I'm going to be talking about a set of 16 watercolors on this wall. These watercolors are, according to the portfolio, sold in 1843. So they were either done in 1843 or a few years before. What we do know about Justiniano Asuncion is that he's a trained painter, possibly trained under Damian Domingo, who would have been one of the earliest portraitists and painters in the Philippines and who established his own painting school. Anyway, Justiniano Asuncion clearly has this incredible ability to capture costume and face, and painted things like this originally it would have been kept in a portfolio. So opened and closed again, protected from the light. These were taken out of the loose leaf portfolio and framed. So in the 1840s, you would have had expats, such as Spanish, of course, but also Americans, coming here to buy agricultural commodities, such as sugar. So these souvenirs were, in a way, early postcards, but a much more expensive version since they're hand-painted, and to be brought back to America and Europe and to show friends and family about the exotic peoples that they would have met in Asia and the Philippines. So tipos del país, types of the country. It says mestiza bañado, or mestiza bathing. It's translated into English, clearly for an English-speaking tourist, like an American. And then it says it's signed Justiniano Asuncion lo pintó, as Justiniano Asuncion painted this. But what I think is so special and so sweet about it is the face. The face is a beautiful kind of expression. She's bathing in nature. She might also be doing laundry. She has a batia, and she's pounding the clothes to dry them and clean them. And maybe this is a kind of a towel that she would be using. It's a homespun cotton that she would be using to dry herself. And she's wrapped in also a cloth that she's able to get wet in, come out of it, and then it's probably a patajong type thing where she also wears that to go home. So I would like to talk about these two tipos del país side by side. One is Indian mestizo, meaning Indian and Chinese blood, it says, or el mestizo indio y chino. And one is Indio Iloco, meaning an Indian from the Ilocos. So the name Indian is what the Spanish would have called brown people that they found here. And the reason I want to talk about them side by side is one is sort of a more dandified version of a Filipino, and one is a more peasant version of a Filipino. And you can see that in the way Justiniano Asuncion has very carefully and captured the details of their attire, their clothing, and their whole gesture, right? So he's walking forward, he has a tobacco cigarette, and he has an imported umbrella. Umbrellas would have been imported in the 1840s because we didn't have the industries to create the interiors of those. The fabrics are all still, at this point in time, locally made. Importation of fabric happened much later. It's probably cotton, combining a blue and a yellow, two colors opposite on the color wheel that create a maximum impact. The man is not shy. He's a bit of a dandy. He has beautiful black shoes, very elegant. And on the barong, which is on the white part, transparent, leading me to think maybe it's a husi, there's an embroidery in white. It extends to his sleeves and his upturned collar and the front of the shirt. On top of the front of the shirt is a gold bead or chain and a very elegant top hat. Over here, we have a Filipino who would be working, probably more working the fields. To keep the heat off, he has a cape of dried leaves. He is wearing a simple cotton outfit, maybe indigo dyed cotton and more of a plain cotton on top. And Ilocos, he's Indio Iloco, is simple kahoy beads and kahoy cross. Ilocos was very famous for silver and gold crosses, but this man is not wearing those. He's indicating a more simpler gesture. He has a salakot on top. Their salakots were also worn by gobernadorcillos and important gentlemen, but they would have had silver decor on top of their salakots. The peasant has a very beautiful ram's head on his sword. Maybe it's carved wood. So what's also interesting in both of them is that they have this Renaissance gesture of extreme perspective where the church and the town is depicted very, very far away, below knee level in a faint wash.